about this more, let's bring in retired International Space Station commander and former NASA astronaut Leroy Chiao. Thank you. I apologize. Leroy, I do want to get your insight on all of this because, you know, we're sitting back here, we're watching all of this play out. We're thinking, man, we've got minutes until this is about to happen. Walk us through the process. What happened here? What happens next?
Sure, and as everybody knows, Boeing has been trying to get this launch off for literally many years, problem after problem, and not only with their space company, but also with their commercial airplane company. So they really need this win. I know the astronauts personally who are on board, they're eager to go. They've been ready to go for a long time, and today it looked like it was going to happen. And then literally just under 4 minutes to go, the launch scrub, as you heard. This time, it was no fault of the rocket or the spacecraft. It was actually a ground problem. There's a problem in the launch control, what's called the sequencer, the control sequencer. It's a computer, and in the space shuttle, I know at T-minus 31 seconds, at that point, control of launching the rocket went from the Launch Control Center computers to the onboard computers. And it sounded like at just under 4 minutes, a flight controller or launch controller noticed that there was something wrong with this sequencer. It was not going to successfully transfer control from the Launch Control Center computers to the onboard computers in the rocket and the spacecraft. And so that caused the scrub for today. The good news is, if this is a pretty easy glitch to fix, this kind of thing has happened before, maybe we can try again and launch tomorrow. In fact, I'm hearing that we are going to try to go ahead and launch again tomorrow. So fingers crossed that we'll get them off the ground tomorrow instead of today.
Fingers crossed indeed. I know they're looking at a potential, I think, 12:30 launch time tomorrow or just around there. Take us into that control room, though, because, of course, we always talk about safety is going to be the priority here when you're making a decision like this. But still, like you said, they were just under 4 minutes away from this launch. How do you make that decision? How defeating is it for these astronauts and that crew that's been working on this day in and day out?
Well, sure, of course, it's a disappointment, but first and foremost, everybody on board, everybody in the control centers, everywhere are all professionals, and so they're going to do their job first. And so when there's a problem, there's no hesitation on the part of a launch controller or a flight controller to let the director know that there's an issue. Even though we're under 4 minutes, they were able to very quickly assess this, take the proper, go through the proper procedures to hold the count until we can get another look. And then when it looked like, okay, this is not something we're going to resolve in seconds, okay, let's go back to recycle to 4 minutes and hold and get a better understanding. And then, of course, once it became clear we're not going to make the launch window, which is more or less instantaneous in this case, then we're gonna have to go into our scrub procedures, and that's what they did. And so,
Yeah,
of course, the disappointment.
I'm sorry to interrupt, because that launch window is so specific, right? It's not something that it's just like, oh, okay, well, we'll move it down another 10 minutes, we'll fix this, and then we'll launch in 10 minutes. It has to be in that very specific window.
That's right, and the reason for that is we're launching from the latitude of the Cape Canaveral, which is right around 28 or so degrees, and we're launching up into an orbital plane that the International Space Station is in about 51.6. So you've got to launch into that plane just at the right time as the Earth is rotating and the station is orbiting. Just at the right time you launch, and then you can get into that same plane as the space station so that you can eventually come in and dock to it.
Everything has to go just perfectly. Again, we're now looking at potentially tomorrow to try this all over again. Leroy Chiao, thank you so much for your insight on this. I was really looking forward to this conversation, and hopefully tomorrow we'll have some better news to chat about.
Sounds good. Thanks.